Alright, Pistons fans, so in today's video, we are going to be talking about the 23-year-old point guard Dennis Smith Jr. And what should the Detroit Pistons do with Dennis Smith Jr.? So we ended up trading for him for Derrick Rose in that deal. You know, we shipped Derrick Rose out to the Knicks. He helped contributed to the Knicks making it to the playoffs. Shouts out to D Rose. I hope he gets a championship one day. And we got back Dennis Smith Jr. And I'm going to admit, when we first got him, I was pretty positive. I was pretty happy with it. I was thinking we're not going to make the playoffs. We could bring in someone like Dennis Smith Jr. who's fairly aggressive, athletic, still young enough to make an impact in the NBA. Why not take a shot on him, especially with this team not making a playoff push? So I was cool with it, and I was pretty positive when we got Dennis Smith Jr. But I'm willing to admit now that I would say I was wrong about Dennis Smith Jr. His impact on the Pistons, his overall game on the Pistons, not really great. In the 20 games that he played for us, he averaged 7 points, 3 assists, and shot 35% from the three-point line. So for me, with Dennis Smith Jr., and when it comes to him on this roster, I'm not really a big fan of us keeping him long-term because of multiple reasons, but the biggest reason is because we have so many, and I mean so many guards on this roster. We have Killian Hayes, we have Saben Lee, we have Corey Joseph, we have Frank Jackson, we know possibly Cade Cunningham. Who knows if they decide to get another point guard in the second round? Who knows if they decide to pick up another point guard in free agency? We have so many point guards on the roster. We have too many. We can't keep all of these guys. And I feel like eventually we're going to have to make a decision on who we want to stay on the squad and who we don't want to stay on the squad. For me right now, Killian Hayes has to stay. We haven't seen enough from Killian Hayes to move him. Saben Lee has to stay. Love Saben Lee. Just did a video about him about a day ago. Love Saben Lee. Frank Jackson, we must re-sign Frank Jackson. He needs to stay on the squad. Obviously, Cade Cunningham, there's no moving him. And then it's going to be between Corey Joseph and Dennis Smith Jr. And honestly, I'm fine with giving up both of them. You know, Corey Joseph, nice veteran player, solid player, average at best. You know, he has his moments here and there, but I'm cool with us letting someone like Corey Joseph go if we possibly trade him away or if we just decide to waive him somehow. You know, Corey Joseph, he can go. And then Dennis Smith Jr., I'm sorry, man, but he didn't do enough this season. And with the other young guards that we have on this roster, I want us to prioritize them and not prioritize someone like Dennis Smith Jr. Especially if we get someone like Cade Cunningham, we need more shooters on the squad. And Dennis Smith Jr., as I mentioned, 35% from the three-point line on the Pistons. That just ain't cutting it. And him playing with Cade Cunningham, I don't think that's going to work at all. We saw in Dallas what happened with him and Luka Doncic. Dennis Smith Jr. is not someone who's built to play the two guard or play off the ball. He couldn't do it with Luka. I doubt he'd be able to do it with Cade Cunningham because Cade Cunningham's game is very, very similar to Luka Doncic. Cade Cunningham said it himself that his body type and his play style is most similar to Luka's. So someone like Dennis Smith Jr. playing with Cade Cunningham, I don't see that working at all as well. So I say if we could somehow, move Dennis Smith Jr. for a future second-round pick, I'd be okay with that because his trade value is not too high. I'm not expecting us to get anything major for him. If we pick up a cool second-round pick with the drafting of Troy Weaver, he picked up Saben Lee in the second round. He did a lot of great things in Oklahoma City. He helped contribute to drafting multiple star players in the NBA on the Thunder. So if we pick up another future second-round pick, I'm sure Troy Weaver will be doing great things with that pick. So overall, man, Dennis Smith Jr., I'm sure he's a nice guy, but long-term, moving forward on the Pistons, I don't really see a spot for him on this roster. And I know it sucks. I know it's unfortunate for him to go from Dallas to New York to Detroit and then somewhere else. I know it's very unfortunate, but this is the NBA. It's a business. These types of things happen. If you don't contribute, if you don't show that you belong in this roster, you're going to get shipped out. Sekou, he's pretty soon going to be going through that as well. Sekou needs to improve. Sekou needs to show improvement. Or else I feel like someone like Troy Weaver, who's extremely aggressive, will eventually, maybe next season or 2 years down the line, he might move someone like Sekou. If you don't show results in the NBA, if you don't improve in the NBA, they're going to ship you out, even if you're a young player. I'm not a big fan of us ever moving out any young players. I hate when NBA teams do it. But that's the name of the game. Every NBA team ships out young players. That's just how they do it. I hate it. I don't like it, but that's what they do. So Dennis Smith Jr., 23 years old, still young, it's a high likelihood that they can ship you out, bro. Or just waive you altogether. So Pistons fans, all in all, let me know how y'all feel about Dennis Smith Jr. If y'all want us to keep him, if y'all want us to trade him, waive him, release him, whatever, just let me know any and all thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 1K, and I'm out.